Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I have my update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. I am so excited. So I have my 5 palettes that were in stacked up here, and I'm going to go through each of the shades I had in, talk about if they are staying in, rolling out, share my progress with them. So if that interests you, then keep on watching. So a quick overview of my rules. I have a pretty laid back project, especially compared to other panners I see do this project. So the 3 ways I can roll shades out are: 1, hit pan on them. Obviously that is the main goal, but I know myself, I know my collection, and I just know there are shades that I'm not going to focus on for that long. So the other 2 rules are: use a shadow 10 times or have it in the project for 2 or more months. So I'm going to go through each of these palettes, show you each of the shades that I had in. So first up here we have my ColourPop Back to Hogwarts palette, and I had the shade Nimbus 2000. So Nimbus 2000 is this shimmer right over here. It's kind of a dirty green sort of shimmer. It was super fun to use. So this one has been in the project for 2 months, and this past month I used it a total of 2 times for a total of 5 uses within this project. That is not great, but still a handful more uses than I might have reached for it otherwise, and you can start to see a little bit of progress showing on this shade, just a little brush work right at the top of the shade there. So that is super nice. This was a pretty untouched shade when I rolled it in, so it was really nice to get some more use out of it. Next palette up is my Sigma Enchanted palette, and I have had this one in for 2 months as well, and I had the shade Evergreen. So Evergreen is this dark green shade down here, and I used this one 2 times this past month for a total of 4 uses within this project. And since this one was in for 2 months, this is going to be rolling out. Same with the last shade. I don't think I said that. I can't remember. But so this one and Nimbus 2000 will be rolling out because they have been in for 2 months. This was a really nice shade to use. I didn't use it too much just because darker green matte shades aren't something I'm going to be reaching for every day. But the few times I did use this, I did have a lot of fun playing with it, and I am definitely excited to use it in the future. It's still not going to be a shade I reach for a ton, but it is super nice, and I really did enjoy having it in this project. Alright, next up we have my Shared Planet Tiger palette, and I had the shade Bangle from this palette. So this one has just been in for 1 month, and it is the shade right down here, and I used this one 3 times this past month. I really would have liked to use it more. I think I will use it at least a few more times this next month because it will be staying in. It is a super pretty shade and an easy one for me to use. One of my favorites from this palette, so I did enjoy having it in this project, even though I didn't reach for it a ton. I just like having the option of using it with my looks, and it's a very, very pretty shade. Alright, next up we have my Root Cosmetics Roaring 20s Neons palette, and I had the shade Electric. So as you can see, I did hit pan in this shade. I am so excited. This was probably my favorite shade to use this past month. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did, but I was constantly using it until I hit pan on it, and I am so excited about that. I used it a total of 8 times this past month, and that is what got me to pan. I was using quite a bit of it for my looks, and it did take a little bit of building to apply evenly to the lid, so that is the reason I was able to hit pan so quickly, and it was just so much fun. I seriously can't express how much I loved using this shade this past month, and I'm a little sad it's rolling out, but I am happy to have a pan in it. Alright, then our last palette up is my Ulta Ravenclaw palette, and I had the shade Twilight. So Twilight is this dark blue down here, and I used this one twice this past month, and it has just been in for the 1 month, so I will be keeping it in. And I knew I was going to be keeping it in, so that was kind of the reason I didn't feel the need to reach for it more this month. I really love the shade. It's one of my favorites in this palette, but honestly, I'm not really reaching for blues at the moment, so it's a little trickier for me to reach for, but I do really love this shade. There is a slight dip in the shade as well, so I'm going to see how much I can focus on it this next month, and maybe possibly get a pan in this shade. I'm not going to promise anything because I honestly don't know how much I'll reach for it, but I would love to see another pan in this palette. Alright, so we have 2 palettes staying in, and then these 3 rolling out. 2 I used for 2 months, and this one I hit pan on, so we are getting into my favorite part of these videos, which is drawing in the new shades. So I have my Pretty Random app set from 1 to 1035, so this includes all of my shadows regardless of if I've hit pan on them, if they've been in this project. So if I get any of those, I will re-roll, and there is a potential I will re-roll if I get a shade from a palette that has just been in this project or is currently in, so we're just gonna see what I get and talk about it then. So our first number is 788. So 788 comes from my Nabla Dreamy palette, and it is the shade Lullaby, and I will show all of these shades at the end. Alright, 224 is next here, and that comes from my e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette, and it is the shade Tropicana. Very excited for that shade. And last up we have 117. So 117 comes from my Glitter Realm A Whole New World palette, and it is the shade Jafar. So I'm going to go grab all of those and be right back. Alright, the first palette we rolled in here was my Nabla Dreamy palette, and I had the shade Lullaby, which is this matte purplish shade down at the bottom here. I don't use this palette a ton, so it will be super nice to reach for it. I really do enjoy this shade. It's not as purple on the eyes, I found, as it looks in the pan, which disappoints me a little bit because I really love the kind of neutral mauve-y purple shades like this. So I'm going to see how much use I can get out of it and hopefully show a little more love to this palette. Alright, I am so excited about this. So this is my e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette, and we had the shade Tropicana, which is another purple shade, but this one's a little bit brighter and a little bit more purple on the eyes, so it is different, and I am way too excited to have this shade in to re-roll, even if it was super close. So I am so excited. This is a palette I absolutely love, and I'm so excited to be getting some more use out of it, and particularly that shade is one of my favorites, so really looking forward to having this one in the project. And another palette I'm super excited is rolling in. This is my Glitter Realm A Whole New World palette, our last palette rolling in this month, and we got the shade Jafar, which is a really nice kind of darker burgundy maroon shade. One of my favorite shades from this palette as well, and I am super, super excited that this one is rolling in. So there you have my 5 palettes with our 5 shades for the month of August. I am so excited about this round. We got some palettes that I am really looking forward to using, so super excited about that. I will pop up a picture of the color story so you all can see. It's definitely a very purpley toned color story with those couple purple shades, but I love purple eyeshadow, so that does not bother me at all, and I am super excited about the individual shades as well. So let me know what you thought of this project, what you thought of this update. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. And with all of that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye!